When morals decline and good men do nothing, evil flourishes. A society unwilling to learn from the past is doomed. We must never forget our history. We must never lower our guard.
It's about Hoover in his early 20s, starting the Department of the Bureau of Investigation, and then becoming the FBI Federal Bureau of Investigation, and then on into his 70s, and he's reflecting back on his days and his involvement with the Lindbergh case and various high-profile cases of that time in history.
Edgar, you will rise to be the most powerful man in the country.
It is my belief that when a man becomes a part of this bureau, he must so conduct himself as to eliminate even the slightest possibility of criticism as to his conduct.
Judi Dench plays my mother in this film, and she was a very powerful force in J. Edgar Hoover's real life. She influenced a lot of his decisions politically, influenced his ambition, fueled his ambition, was the sort of rock-solid moral high ground that he constantly went to in times of despair and confusion. And he always turned to advice for his mother, and she drove him politically. I think that she was almost like a stage mom in a lot of respects, but in Washington, she wanted her young son to carry on the Hoover name to great prominence and great power in Washington.
Mr. Tolson, I need someone who I can trust. I want you to be my number 2 man. You understand? I need you. Imagine if every citizen in this country were uniquely identifiable by the pattern on their fingers. Imagine how quickly we could find them if they committed a crime. You remember that file we created on his wife?
Mrs. Roosevelt.
Will you make a copy for me, please? Is that legal? Sometimes you need to bend the rules a little in order to keep your country safe.
There were no forensic sciences before J. Edgar Hoover. There's a great scene in the movie where he walks up and police are throwing buckets of water on blood on a wall. And it's not because they're trying to wash away evidence, it's because that was how you cleaned a crime scene. And he was the first guy to go, you're getting rid of this evidence. And it's really, it was like a historic thing to now we have, thanks to J. Edgar Hoover and everybody at the Bureau, we have centralized databases of fingerprints and all that kind of thing that wasn't important before when you had the federal government, but then all the states really held the supremacy and they had their own power. So, I guess Hoover would in a way be responsible for sort of creating a sort of larger federal government in some ways.
Please leave the transcripts here with me. Feel free and share them with your brother, Mr. Kennedy. Let him know that I have a copy of my own. The president is afraid.
All the admiration in the world can't fill the spot where love goes. We are the sinners, Edgar. We tolerated lawlessness in the land until it grew to diabolical proportions. The blood is on your hands, Edgar.
Human beings, we're multifaceted people. We're not always good. We're not always bad. We go all places, and that's what is so great about the story, is that there are times when you're repulsed by this man, but there are times where you kind of fall in love with him too, and you feel for him.
What are your exact qualifications for your position of leadership in this bureau?
My qualifications, sir? I don't know who I can trust anymore.
I see right through you. You're a scared, heartless, horrible little man.
Don't wilt like a little flower. Be strong.
Yes, Mother. It's time this generation learned the difference between villain and hero. Even great men can be corrupted.